In this video, I will share 6 mistakes, 6 of the worst mistakes I see organizations falling for when implementing Scrum. I want to keep this video as short as possible while still maximizing value. So let's dive in. Mistake number 1, coaching teams to death. I feel that I need to start with this mistake because it's the biggest one. The biggest mistake. Even if you know that you're doing it, it's really hard to fix. That's why it's the biggest mistake. I see so many Scrum teams, new Scrum teams, developing with time, continuous improvement, really doing well, working together, producing value, applying the Scrum framework, doing all the events. But at some point, they get obstructed by management, by the directors. They're doing so well for months, but then everything stops. Everything slows down. And to make matters worse, management, the directors start blaming the team. Why are we slowing down? Why can't we deliver more? Deliver. Shorter deadlines, shorter and shorter deadlines. And the management realized that the team needs more coaching. Yeah, we need more coaching in Scrum, the Scrum framework, agile coaching. So they send everyone in the team for more coaching, believing that this will fix the issue, while at the same time there's a huge elephant in the room that's being ignored. When an organization is new to Scrum, new to Agile, they just started their journey, their transformation, they usually believe that Agile, Scrum is for the teams. The Scrum teams need to use the Scrum framework. They need to go to the Agile training, not us, the managers, the directors. No, we don't really care about that. Just do your Scrum thing, your Agile thing. I'm not really concerned about that as long as you're delivering value, as long as you're meeting the deadlines. But the problem is that the whole organization needs to transform to have this agile mindset, especially people at the top. How can you give power to the team? Let the team self-manage themselves, self-organize themselves because they are the experts. When managers are still telling them which feature to develop, setting deadlines on the team that they need to respect, doesn't work. The team can't use the Scrum framework if they are forced to meet deadlines, if they are not able to produce something of value for their customers because management told them that they need to do X feature, because management know what the customer wants. It doesn't work this way. That's the old mindset. For Agile to work in an organization, everyone needs to be changing their mindset, especially people on the top. But the sad part is that when Agile is sold by these consulting companies, they sell it in a way that makes management directors believe that it's for the teams. You don't need to change, just let the teams optimize themselves. They become more efficient, not even effective. Efficient. They will deliver faster and you don't need to be involved in that. Obviously, it's wrong. Mistake number 2, expecting Agile, the implementation of Agile, the Scrum framework to be easy. The same consulting companies come sell Agile to management directors and tell them that it will be done in 6 months. The whole organization will be changed, completely changed for the better in 6 months. 6 months. And even if you don't go through consulting companies, it's like a manager in the organization just reads a book on Agile and starts implementing the daily Scrum, the daily stand-up, start writing user stories, starts estimating in story points and believe that they are now Agile. It might work in the short term. Obviously, a team that wasn't doing a daily Scrum or a daily stand-up, just implementing this daily planning will change a lot. You're doing a planning for the day. Obviously, you will be more optimized. Your work will be more effective, more efficient. Simply applying these events will make the sprint review, talking with your stakeholders, your customers every week or every 2 weeks, will provide a lot of transparency, which will make things better. It has to make things better, but that's only in the short term. In the long term, you'll realize that you get stuck because a lot of issues are being ignored. Remember, Agile, Scrum doesn't solve problems. No, it doesn't solve problems. It makes problems visible. Transparency. It highlights impediments. You start realizing that people are not psychologically safe. People are not trusting each other. You have managers who are commanding and controlling the employees, telling them what to do, setting deadlines on the team. And all these issues, difficult issues to face, need to be tackled. Else, the team will stall. It's really hard to go and talk to managers, directors, and tell them that they are doing their job wrong. People 40 years in the business. You tell them now that you shouldn't be telling us what to do, but we are the experts. It's really hard to tell that to these directors and managers. And if you don't, Agile will unfortunately not work. Might work in the short term. Well, obviously daily planning and all that, the daily standard, the daily scrum will work, but there's a limit. Forget about 6 months. It takes years for Agile to be ingrained in everyone's mind in the company. And talking about the Agile mindset, mistake number 3. Only implementing the practices. When we start implementing Agile and Scrum in an organization, managers, directors, they want results, quick results. And the best way to get results quickly is to implement the practices. Start doing the daily Scrums. A beautiful Kanban board to do, work in progress done. You'll see change right away because teams weren't doing that previously. They were not tracking their work wasn't visible. They were not doing planning every single day. Start letting teams being self-managed. All these things work in the short term. The problem is that you can't only apply the practices without the Agile Manifesto. Manifesto contains the Agile values and the Agile principles. This is the mindset part of things. If you apply the practices only, people will start doing the daily Scrum or the daily stand-up without knowing why they are doing it. Because the mindset didn't change. They are just doing it because they need to do it. They will get results in the short term, but in the long term, at some point they will be stuck because their mindset didn't change. So when implementing Agile, when implementing Scrum, you always start with the values, the 4 values of the Agile Manifesto. Then you move on to the principles, the 12 principles of the Agile Manifesto. Then you move on to the practices. When starting this way, you ensure that the mindset is also covered. It doesn't mean that you need to start 1 month of training on the values and another month of training on the principles. No, it can all be done in 1 day. But it needs to be repeated, continuously repeated the values, continuously repeated the principles, and you can use the practices to confirm the values and the principles. It needs to be linked together so that people understand why they are doing what they are doing. Mistake number 4, continuing to see output as a measure of success compared to outcome. Output is extremely important in the Scrum framework. We are building a shippable increment of a product every single sprint, and everyone knows that. The team knows that. Managers know that. The directors know that. The team is expected to be delivering faster to the customers, and we all ensure that it's done. Are we delivering on time? Are we on track? Are we meeting deadlines? Burn down chart, burn up, tracking our velocity. Are we improving in terms of velocity? Managers love this. Directors love this. And even some Scrum Masters love this. But are we measuring what the customer wants? How the customer feels? I've been working with teams for years. They don't even care what the customer wants. Again, remember why we do Agile. Why do we deliver fast in Agile, early in Agile, to get feedback from customers? Because we come with an hypothesis. We believe that something is true. We believe that a feature will work, but the customer will want this feature because we don't know what the customer wants. We don't have a crystal ball. No, we assume that we know what the customer wants. And we need to release it early to confirm, get feedback from the customer to confirm that what we thought was true is indeed true. And if it's not true, we improve on it and we release early and we get feedback again. That's what the whole Agile thing is. That's why we build an increment and try to release it to customers every single sprint. And I see many teams doing the first part really well. Surveying customers, building screens based on the taste of the customers. But when the feature is released, or the product is released, no survey being done to the customers, no feedback being done to the customers. They don't really care if a customer loves the feature or not. No, they are too concerned working on the next feature and the next feature. Always in delivery. That's the missing part. Because managers, the directors, the whole company is so focused on output that they forget about why we are doing it, the outcome. So instead of always measuring, are we on track? Are we meeting our deadlines? Start to measure the customers. How does the customer feel? What's our assumption true. Survey the customers, ask them if they like this feature. All the assumptions that we had when we built the product, everything that we thought would be true, was it indeed true? Because at the end of the day, we are working for the customer, releasing fast. That's good. It makes sense. The more feature a customer has, it's good. But remember, a feature, even if it's released every single day, if it's not a good feature, there's no business value in that. So please, deliver something of quality instead of always quantity. Mistake number 5, mishandling dependencies. Dependencies kill Scrum. They kill Agile. Really hard to manage for a Scrum team, especially for a Scrum team which has a lot of dependencies on other teams. This is where we make assumptions, where we tell the managers, the directors, we won't be able to deliver on time because we have such and such dependencies. And what do managers tell us? What do the directors tell us? These other teams will be able to deliver on time. So let's just assume that this team deliver on time. By when can you deliver? And we say, okay, we'll be able to meet the target date if these other teams deliver on time. And we all know what happens. These other teams don't deliver on time. And if we are the last one in the line, which is usually the case, we are the ones to always be rushing because these other teams were late. Now we need to rush to be able to make delivery days, to be able to meet deadlines. Shouldn't be working this way. You make assumptions, and if this assumption is not true, meaning you're assuming that this other team would be able to deliver by the end of a week so that you can deliver by the end of next week. If a team is not delivering by the end of a week, you review your date. Obviously, you review your date. Agile teams, Scrum teams don't often have the courage to fight back. Say, no, we won't be able to meet the current delivery date. We need a new date because someone was late. Dependency was not on time. You need to have a courage, but often it's not the case. And again, it's a culture thing. It's a mindset thing. It's something that will take years to change in the organization. A Scrum Master can help with that. An Agile coach can help with that. But again, nothing changes until managers, directors allow the change to happen. Understand that there's a problem and allow the change to happen. Mistake number 6, the last one. Preventing the team from being self-managed. Agile, Scrum doesn't work if there's not self-managed or self-organized team. In complex environments, what will happen is unknown. That's in the Scrum Guide 2020, the latest version of the Scrum Guide. We don't know what will happen. The team doesn't know what will happen in the future. We can assume things based on empirical data, but if a team doesn't know what will happen, do you think managers, directors outside the team, no contact with customers, they know what will happen? Obviously not. That's why we let the team decide. That let the team self-manage themselves because they are the experts, not managers, the directors, the stakeholders outside the team. And you often see that in organizations that just implemented Agile. They do all the practices, yeah, but the stakeholders keep calling the developers, hey, just do this little thing for me. And just do this little feature for me. We need this by this date. Come on, let the team be self-managed. You don't need to tell the team what to do. They know what to do. They know what's best for the customer. They are the experts, not you. Let the team be self-managed. Trust the team. Trust that they will do the job well. And you'll see. They will do the job well. Which brings me to my next point. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now. And I'll see you in a few seconds.